life has been very up and down. Sometimes I've been struggling, and sometimes I've been thriving. But most of all, I have been going through so many changes. Like the fact that I literally chopped off my long ass hair. Or the fact that I've moved to Los Angeles this year. I have been constantly out of my comfort zone. And I really wanted to share more of my journey and how it looks to break out of your comfort zone. And in this video, I really wanted to show you a specific part of my journey of breaking out of my comfort zone. Something I did recently that scared me a lot. I don't want to get too much into it in this introduction because there's enough in this video talking about my emotions around it. I hope you find yourself connecting to my story, connecting to the things that I share, and I hope that you enjoy this. What's up, y'all? It's your favorite YouTuber, the spiritual bad bitch. My name is Anila Sita. Today I am doing something that scares the shit out of me. I'm gonna be teaching a dance class because I'm a dancer. This is my very first dance class that I'm teaching. This video is probably gonna have different moments and different parts. Right now I'm so nervous, like I'll be honest. I've been battling so many feelings of failure recently, feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling like so terrified to make a move in a new direction, particularly like this direction. I mean, I just don't know how many people are gonna come. I don't really know what my definition of success or failure is in this scenario, but I just know that inside of myself I'm so nervous, I'm so scared. I just want to go into my bed and cancel the whole thing and not do it, but then at the same time I also don't really want to do that. I feel like it's important to document these moments because we always see people doing things, but we don't really see how people feel about it or how they push themselves to get into, you know, something that they love but are scared, you know? Yeah, I'm excited in a weird way. I'm scared, but I'm excited. Anyways, I'm about to drive to class and I'm so nervous. I feel like I want to shit my pants. I'm so scared. I'm gonna blast my bad bitch tunes now on the way there because I'm so nervous. You don't understand. Sadly, this video got copyrighted because of the music, so I had to remove the sound. So you just have me dancing in my heels to the silence, to this voiceover. I know it looks a little bit ridiculous without the music, but I still wanted to show it and all of my girls who came to the class. What's up, everybody? It's literally been 2 or 3 weeks since I taught my first dance class. I've been wanting to make a video talking about that dance class and everything I'm learning for a while, but it brought up a lot of difficult feelings that I've only felt ready now, this moment that I'm speaking into the camera, to really talk about everything because your girl's been going through it. It's been a tough year for me. And you know what? I have felt so much shame the past few weeks, not just weeks, but months, like this whole motherfucking year. I felt so much shame because I've been struggling emotionally and with my mental health and just internally in my self-worth, and it just feels like I've been in the middle of a fucking hurricane emotionally and there's no clarity. And finally today, I have some clarity, and I really know for a fact that if you hear me out, this is gonna resonate with you and it's gonna help you in some way because, bitch, I don't be going through this shit for nothing. I be going through this shit so that I can help people. After I taught the dance class, I was overcome with a lot of feelings of failure, which is so strange because my class wasn't a failure. I was extremely grateful that people even decided to show up, and the girls that did show up were so kind and the class went really smoothly. I love teaching the girls. However, I think what made me feel like a failure was the fact that I had very high expectations. I think this whole year I've been battling feelings around feeling like a failure, feeling like I'm not enough, feeling like I'm not doing enough, feeling like I haven't really accomplished anything. And I feel like a lot of my life I've validated myself through the approval of other people. So in other words, if somebody says, you know, good job, then I feel like I've done a good job. And I realized that this perspective is so fucked up. It took me like weeks to get to this point that I'm at right now, because I really have been in a pity party. And I realized that success, like, we each define what success means to us, to ourselves. And I feel like this year I have had a lot of small wins and a lot of things that, you know, like the dance class, I was expecting to have more people show up because I had to book the studio and pay. I ended up basically breaking even. I made just as much money as I needed to pay the class. And really, that is a success for my first dance class if I look at it now in hindsight. But in the moment, that felt like a failure. I felt like, wow, look at you. You basically broke even. It really wasn't all that. And I was really having a lot of this negative self-talk. And I don't know. I've been talking to my therapist about this. And I really don't feel like when you're going through shit, you can just talk yourself out of it or pretend that it's not going on. Of course, we have choices that we can make, and I have noticed there is a choice in being maybe more positive or seeing the silver lining of every situation. But sometimes we just have to feel what we need to feel, and there's no point in trying to change this feeling if all it wants is to simply come up and be acknowledged. And you know, I talk about this all the time, like, healing is really just confronting your emotions. That's it. Every time I've shown up kind of like being authentic and talking about my negative emotions, there's always been one motherfucking bitch in the comments basically shaming me for my negative emotions. And I get it. On the internet, there's always going to be trolls, but it kind of really amplified the shame that I have been carrying in myself around who I am, around my self-expression, around my negative emotions and expressing those. It's fucking scary to show up on social media and be honest about your struggles. And that's why nobody fucking does it. And I don't see anybody being fucking real and talking about like the dark shit, you know? And let's be real here. We're all humans. We all deal with stuff, but people don't like to do it because yes, it is vulnerable, and yes, it is a difficult thing to do. And I reached the conclusion today that my vulnerability is not something I need to be ashamed of, but something that is a fucking strength. And it's taken me so much time to get to this point, because honestly, the thing is this, right? If you are a people pleaser, which this is something I'm currently unlearning, you have to look at the roots of why you're a people pleaser. And for me, I know I'm like going on a tangent. This is actually like about my dance class, but this is how I am. I'm just gonna embrace it and not fucking explain myself. People pleasing, for some of us, is literally a survival mechanism. In other words, it was not safe for you to be yourself when you were a child, expressing yourself. It was not safe for you to voice your negative emotions, maybe. I mean, that's the case for me. It was not safe for you to be you. I mean, I became so hyper vigilant when I was a kid because I grew up with addicts. If I made any wrong move, they would lash out on me. And my dad actually used to play like almost these mind games with me, where he would see me make the tiniest change in my facial expression and he would then assume that I'm plotting against him. I'm not fucking exaggerating when I say this shit. And it's instilled a fear in me of fully being myself, number one, because I'm not controlling my damn facial expression. Sometimes I'm really just there chilling, and he misinterpreted my facial expression. So it's really taught me to read every single movement that a person is making. And that's what hypervigilance is. It's like there's a gift in that because you're able to read people. But the other side of it is that you become so hyper focused on the other person and their movements and reactions that you can't even freely be yourself. I mean, I've had to literally change who I am in order to survive, in order to feel safe at home. So it's like, when I really realized the depths of my people pleasing, it started to click for me why people pleasing is such a big thing in my life. And like hear me out, okay? Because I know that this is gonna click for some people watching this too. My people pleasing is not just in social interactions, it is literally influencing the way that my whole being is. So I'm a creative, right? And I've noticed that it's terribly difficult for me to engage in a creative process where I'm just having fun, like painting or singing or dancing. Instead of doing it like a child and just having fun, I am thinking about how my art is gonna be perceived, who's gonna like it, who's not gonna like it, what can I do to make it more likable. The whole point with this is that a lot of this shit is really deep rooted, and don't let anybody make you feel bad for taking the time to do what you need to do to heal. And for me, that means isolating sometimes. Sometimes it means doing nothing. Sometimes it means not accomplishing shit in your life, because life is not about accomplishing all the time. Life is about living it, you know? That's something I've been learning. I feel like I've measured my self-worth a lot in my external accomplishments instead of little moments every day and little things that I'm proud of, you know? Instead of always focusing on the big things. Like, the big things are really not that big, actually. And that's kind of what I noticed with my YouTube journey. I'm proud of myself that I've gotten to this point, but damn, I really thought that being in a position where I have like over 100,000 subscribers, I thought that I was gonna feel on top of the world when I reached that point. And it's just not like that, because the growing keeps going and the lessons keep coming. Finally, today is like the first day I can say I feel a lot less shame, because I've just allowed myself the past 2 weeks to feel everything that I'm feeling. This year, I've been very confused. I've been very like, I don't know who I am. I'm confused about my identity. I've had to really just let go and surrender and think to myself, you know what? Like, my time is gonna come in the way that it needs to, and it's okay if I'm slowly healing and slowly improving. I think that's another thing, is like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to heal from one day to the next, and that's just not gonna happen. I mean, we're talking about trauma worth 20 years. Like, what makes me think that I'm gonna heal that in 2 days? You know, it takes time. I think that the dance class, it brought up all of these emotions. But I'm proud of myself for trying it. I'm proud of myself for doing it. It was scary as shit. Like, it really, really was. I enjoyed it though when I was actually in it, and especially meeting all the girls. There was 2 girls that drove like 2 hours to come and see me, and that is something that I will never forget and never take for granted, you know? So I'm very appreciative about that, but I've also been learning, like, it's not something to be ashamed of. If I'm trying something new, or if any of us are trying something new. In fact, it's brave and it's vulnerable, and instead of allowing negative comments to get to me, I need to fucking see who the fuck I really am in the mirror and be like, they hate you because they ain't you, because you're a body, you know how to authentically be yourself, and these bitches wish that they could be themselves, but they fucking can't. And that doesn't mean that I have to stop doing it. And I just want to say, for anybody who's kind of like struggling or going through a tough time, my biggest thing that I've been noticing right now is, like, if you are struggling, the antidote is self-love. It's acceptance. And sometimes it goes on like that for days. I get it. I know those feelings, and it's such a struggle when you're not happy with who you are, you're not happy with where you're at, or you feel confused. You don't even know what steps to take. But there's an analogy that I read in a book, and it kind of helped me cope with this concept. So this woman was saying how one night she's driving in her car and it's so fucking foggy. The only thing she can see is maybe 5 meters ahead of her car. I don't know, what's 5 meters in inches or feet? I don't know. Imagine, you don't need to know the distance, but imagine you're driving in a fucking fog and you cannot see anything beyond the fog. You can only see where the light of your car is illuminating at the front. But then she said, but really, I could see everything that I need to see in order to move forward. And she said, if I keep driving slowly, I'm gonna keep illuminating more of the path, and I'm gonna keep going, and more is gonna get clear until eventually I'm out of the fog. I love that analogy because it's really about focusing on not what's in the fog, but focusing on the steps in front of you. There's a saying which goes, don't focus on the whole staircase, but only focus on the next step ahead of you. And I think that's been my mantra this year. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. Like, my life is all over the place. But I'm kind of learning to enjoy it and see it more as an adventure instead of something that is like scary or uncomfortable. Yes, it is uncomfortable, but I think you can make peace with that by having acceptance of who you are, of where you're at, and just know that the next step will always be given to you. You will always get some type of help if you can let it in. So just know that you're not alone if you struggle with things. I always say this to myself whenever I'm struggling. I always say, if you knew that in 6 months down the line, or even a year down the line, right? Like, the time for me doesn't matter. It's just the uncertainty. If in a year you were in the place that you wanted to be, around the people that you wanted to be, in your dream apartment, with this, with that, would you still be like struggling at the moment? Would you still be feeling all confused and lost? Or would you just sit back and be like, well, I guess this is a period where I need to chill the fuck out. I guess this is a period where I need to relax. Let me just put on a Netflix movie. Let me just chill the fuck out and get rid of that sense of urgency. I think social media does that to us. It lets us see what everybody else is achieving and doing, and it makes us feel like we're behind, or we're not where we should be, or we're not enough. And it's like, we are enough, and maybe life is really just here to be lived. And most of all, there is time. As much as you think there's not, there is time. There's no fucking rush. Everything is good. Like right now, even if it's bad, everything is good. And I just want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone. I really hope that you got something from this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Maybe it was a bit all over the place, but my videos usually are. I love you so much. You are loved, you are safe, you are special, you are beautiful, you are capable, you are amazing, you are a goddess, you're a queen, you're a king, you're that bitch. Alright? Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. Love you so much. Bye!